Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
I'm Wes.
We're going to talk about Love Letter Premium Edition. And you know how like in our unboxings when you like throw stuff at the camera? I am not throwing this.
This is nice.
This is baller. We're going to talk about, first impressions of this really is just the quality of this whole package, the whole presentation really.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a big part of it because you've probably played Love Letter before. You have the little baggie or have one of the 1,000 reskinned versions, the Hobbit, Batman, Archer, Munchkin. Yeah, you've got some too. First of all, it comes in a nice big box with a magnet. Like, open it up. You got a nice big rule book here.
You got nice artwork on the back here.
Nice artwork, yeah.
Oh, don't want to show you too much.
Wooden heart tokens instead of the little cubes.
And they're like oversized. You know, some of the games have heart tokens, but these are like, I don't know if you can see that. That's like a life-size heart for Tom.
Yeah.
Like,
if I was the Grinch. So the cards are these huge tarot size, but they're not even cards. They're like card stock, and they came with sleeves in the box, exactly as many sleeves as you need. And look at the insert.
I don't know if you guys noticed I held it up earlier, but the insert, it's not like really crushed velvet. It's plastic, but it has like that crushed velvet lining that just it really helps feel, the whole box like fits the theme of Love Letter and like medieval royalty with princesses and barons and
even the sleeves, the back of the sleeves are art, like a letter with like a melted wax seal on it. Super dope.
And there's actually a built-in expansion to this too. It can take more players. It's how many now?
So it used to be, Love Letter used to be 2 to 4 players, and the way you did it with 2 players was kind of a variant. So to me, it was really like strictly a 3 or 4 player game. This adds it so you can go 5 to 8 now with that expansion. It still has regular Love Letter, so it's still 2 to 4 in regular Love Letter, but then with these new cards, you mash it in if you're playing with 5 or 8 players. And it's not like on a scale. It's not like, well, if you're playing with 5 players, add these. If you're playing with 6, add these. It's just, you're playing with 5, mix these 2 together.
So there's like a cardinal, there's an assassin, a baroness.
Yeah, I think the assassin is probably one of the best ones because...
I'll go ahead and read it to him.
Yeah.
So the number is 0, and it says, if you have this card in your hand, when another player chooses you as part of a guard's effect, they are knocked out of the round this round, and you are not. Discard this card and draw a new one. There's so many guards, and there's a lot more guards when you add the expansion in.
And it's specifically just guard, right?
Yeah, it's just guard. But it's cool because guards happen constantly.
Yeah, they really do.
So if you get this, you just hold on to it, and you're pretty much guaranteed that, like, someone's going to guard you.
Well, and the idea is that to balance out the game a little bit more, so that way the whole guard thing isn't just like, turn 1, do you have a 3? Yeah, I have a 3, okay. I'm just going to sit here for another half an hour, which it really is kind of like a half an hour if you're playing with 6 or 7 or 8 players.
To balance out the fact there's a lot more roles, the guard says name a number and choose a player, not name a role.
Yeah,
so even though there's multiple 3 roles and multiple 4 roles. So even there's a baron and a baroness, and they do slightly different things. But the guard, you can get a baron or a baroness by saying 3.
Yeah, which again, I really think is like a good way to add this expansion. So instead of just jumping up the numbers, like reprinting the princess to no longer be an 8, now the princess is, a 15, and then there's all these numbers in between. And it still keeps the guard kind of balanced because you don't have to remember all these different cards and say, do you have this one? Do you have that one? You can just say, if at the beginning of the game you said, do you have a 3? You have the same odds with 8 players as you would have with 4 players. Well, almost, because there's a 0. So it's and there's a 9 actually too. That's above the 8. Obviously, 9 is above 8. Yeah. News, information.
However, it still says that it doesn't beat the princess if it gets to that end game condition. So the princess still is the winning card if you can hold her to the end.
But honestly, Wes, what are your impressions on this?
So, first impression is just that it's nice. It feels like a nice. It's like the best insert I've seen. It's some of the best cards. They're almost like tiles. It comes with the art sleeves that fit perfectly. It looks like a nice game. I think it deserves premium edition. It's not just deluxe or upgraded, but premium edition really fits it.
So you think premium is better than deluxe?
Yeah, premium is premier.
I don't know. What if it was the deluxe premium edition?
Two adjectives? Games aren't going to have 2 adjectives.
So what's funny to me about the addition of the new players is I really thought that a 5th player is something that is essential. I didn't really think that 6, 7, or 8 players. Like I was never playing original Love Letter and thinking, oh, this needs to go up to 8 players. Like 5 players makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But 8 players, I was like, do we really need that? But playing it with
We
that many,
played
it
it that
still
many,
worked.
and it works really well.
It was still really fun.
I mean, because it still goes pretty quick. People still get knocked out really
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's a little. Those are harder to count cards just because.
There's just more options, really, is what it is.
Yeah, and there's more cards in hand, so even if the deck's out and 5 people are still in the game,
Yeah.
it is a lot harder to figure out what's what.
Which is good, because if Love Letter came down to just a game of card counting, it's not as fun.
Yeah,
You know what I
especially
mean?
especially because everything we discard all our cards face up,
Yeah.
and we leave them on the table. So when you get down to small amount of players of cards left, you can do the math and like figure out what you want to guess. I do have one complaint with this game.
The component quality? It better not be.
It's the component quality. It's not. The list of cards, because I haven't played this game enough to like know all the roles and know exactly what does what and what numbers everything's are.
Yeah.
So these are the list of cards. So this is the same list from original Love Letter, and then this is the list when you add in the new things. And I get that like there's the list of new cards. What I don't like is guards. So here it says like 3 additional copies of guards to this card. And it messed me up a lot. Because I'd look and be like, oh, there's 5 guards. And I didn't count the 3 additional guards in this card. And I don't like you have to like jump back and forth between cards. And I understand that like when I play it 10 more times, I won't even use these cards anymore again.
Well, the real reason is because you said, oh, well, there are already 5 guards out there, so you can't have a guard in your hand. And I was like, no, dude, there's 8 guards. And you were like, what? So you just didn't like that in that one instance you looked like an idiot, so now you're all pissed about it.
I don't like it when a game makes me look like an idiot. But I will say that when you're introducing it to a new player, you want it to be as simple as possible.
And I definitely do say if it's your first time ever playing Love Letter, you should probably just start with the 4 players and then add in the others. I mean, it's not like you can't handle it if you start out the first time you're playing Love Letter with an 8-player game, but it definitely is like you play it once with 4 players and then you can jump immediately into this. The only complaint I have about these list of the cards is that these are double-sided, right? So there's actually 8 of these.
I had no idea they were
Which doesn't make sense. Like, because you need both cards, right? And of course they gave you 8, that number 8, because it goes up to 8 players, but you really need like 16, don't you? But then like you don't need 8 for this side, you only need 4. So like, I understand it's a weird number, but like when we play with that many players and I spread these out, lots of people are sharing, they're kind of all over the place, you know what I mean?
And like, it's weird that they included sleeves for them almost. Because I get them saying like, you don't need to sleeve your reference cards. You're never going to shuffle them. Like,
well,
it's not as big a deal if they get a little dinged up.
Well, I mean, I can see why they would, because if they didn't provide sleeves for this, wouldn't you be like, really?
Oh, that would be my
Really,
first
man?
complaint.
That would be your first complaint.
It's great until they didn't provide sleeves.
Yeah.
But if then they shouldn't have made them double-sided.
But then how many do they include? What they do? I guess you're right. Then they could have done 4 of these. No, because it's weird. Because it's like they need 8 of these, right? And then they need 8 of these. Honestly, other than this, that's probably my only gripe.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm happy with everything else. So I am wondering what you think about this. So you now have the premium edition. I have the original edition, like in the little baggie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'd ever go back and get that baggied edition, or even like the boxed, but the original edition of this game? Or do you think that like once you have the premium, you don't need that edition anymore?
No, I wouldn't say that. There's no reason, especially because of the price point of the smaller editions and the different skins and stuff, there's no reason to have multiple copies of this. But there's no real reason to not. And especially because, like you said, for travel. Like, Love Letter is a good travel game. Well, this is still an okay size. This
However,
isn't like...
I sneak Love Letter into my wife's purse when we're going out to the bar at night.
So, while this isn't, like, bad for travel, this isn't a huge box or whatever, still, the convenience, like you just said, with putting it in a purse or... my purse, me carrying around in my purse, putting it in my fanny pack, you know, I mean, it's so convenient.
The other thing I can say this box is not a big deal to travel. I travel with a lot of game boxes bigger than this. What I will say is that if I did spill food or someone spilled a drink on just my regular love letter game, I'd be like, oh, like either
$4,
deal with it or just get a new one. It's not that big of a deal. But if someone messed up the premium edition, then I'd be pissed.
Oh yeah, I would lose it. I would lose a friend. They would not be my friend anymore.
Yeah.
And I would just go, ah, and just start throwing stuff.
What'd you do?
So yeah, no, I think Premium Edition is probably something that everybody should have because it's just awesome. But it doesn't replace any other edition. If you like the Archer one, the Hobbit one, the Batman one, and all those, it doesn't replace it. In terms of the game, obviously, Original Love Letter is still a great game. Adding in the additional players doesn't increase the playtime too much. The new roles don't add a lot of new rules, so it's still a lot of fun. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, if you're gonna own one love letter, this is the one that you need to get.
Oh yeah.
If you're only gonna get one. If you already have love letter, there's no reason not to get this one because it has a different role to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get this one first and decide that you like it, I think you're not going to be discouraged to go get another like standard copy of it or a rethemed copy of it for that travel need or something else.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it if they made this expansion available for the standard edition.
That's good. That's a good point.
Because I like it and I like the option to have more players.
So you want to be able to sneak into your wife's purse a copy of Love Letter that can go up to 8 players.
Yeah, why not?
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
But yeah, other than that, I think that I definitely think this is a fantastic.
Oh yeah, everybody should buy it. Everybody should buy it
Phenomenal.
right now.
Yeah,
Everybody
go buy
should
it.
just go
click.
Go buy it.
After you buy a copy of this, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never be bored.
What if there's a fart edition where like when you open up the little magnet on the box it goes